Hey y'all, it's your girl D back with another video. This is another book review. So recently I had the free time to listen slash read, whatever you want to call it, The Stranger by Albert Camus. Albert Camus is a French author, and the genre of this book is absurdism. Let me tell y'all, so I like books that are satirical. I like books that are full of sarcasm, and I did not know about this particular genre. I don't think I've ever read a book that is of the absurdist genre, so I was excited to find out about that. And so now I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole of finding more absurdist books, and that will be I think that will be my December theme, simply because of what's going on. I mean, the world is absurd right now, so it's fitting. But anyway, so the reason I had happened to come across Albert Camus' name is when I was in, I want to say, a little bit after, like college. After college, I went through a whole indie film phase, and I went through a whole Michael Cera phase. And if you don't know who Michael Cera is, I don't know what to tell you. So I went through that whole phase, and Youth in Revolt is the movie that introduced me to Albert Camus' name. The main character, Nick Twisps, his character is obsessed with Albert Camus' writing, and he wants to, I guess, embody and learn how to be like Albert Camus, and it's a whole thing. So given that, that name Albert Camus stuck with me in my mind. I don't know why, but here we have it. So in The Stranger, the book is very well known for its opening line. In French, the opening line is "Aujourd'hui, maman est morte," meaning, translated to in English, "Today mother died," or "Mom died today." So the main character, Mersault, is forced to deal with this. Like, his mom dies. That's the opening sentence. There is no build up to, what's going on. There's no build up. It's just today mom died, and that's what you get. So I think as a reader, we are forced into a sense of shock in a way. I think death is so shocking that it's just like that. There's no really build up sometimes for the survivors. There's no real warning. It just is. It's absolute. So one of the points, I think this is really great that they had a discussion at the end of the audiobook, because it made me think more deeply into the subject matter. The way I kind of summed it up in my own head is like, if you ever watch a sketch comedy show, like a In Living Color or a Saturday Night Live, or even when we were kids, like Roundhouse or all that, it's like that. Life is just like a sketch comedy. Sometimes there's things that are scripted, and sometimes things are not, and you just have to go along with it because life is gonna life. So in the discussion, they talked about absurdity as a cause of violence and self-destructive behavior when somebody cannot cope with the like what's going on in their life. So when we say absurd, what do we think of when we think of like absurdity? We think of something that is crazy. It is out of control. It is something way outside of our scope of imagining, that it may even not even seem real. Like, so when we think of the predicament that Mersault gets into, and them relating it back to his mother's death, that is considered like lunacy. Like, who would think to link somebody becoming a murderer to how they felt at their mother's funeral? We wouldn't think of that. We would just think like these two things are unrelated. The absurd things about him, about Mersault, was that he after his mom's death, he ends up going to a comedy movie and swimming with his girl, and they use this as evidence in the trial. So y'all be aware of that. So I really thought this is a great book. I'm not gonna hold you. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Simply because I love the absurdity part of it. I really love that part of it. It makes you think about life in a different way, and the idea of the stranger, like trying to figure out who is the stranger in the story. I thought, well, what I concluded was that at different times of our life, we can ultimately become strangers to ourselves. And maybe in Mirsal's case, in the moment that he was committing the crime, he became a stranger to himself, right? Like, he became somebody he didn't recognize. And as a result of that person, he did something that would be out of himself, that he normally, we'll say normally in quotes, because what is normalcy? And I don't know if this book was meant to be philosophical or to make you think in that manner, but I really enjoyed it. It's like it makes you, it opens your mind to thinking about life and really evaluating like how we view life. Like, my perspective, I think I'm going to try to apply some of the talking points that I heard in the discussion piece, the post-book discussion piece about absolutism and absolute thinking ways, because I'm that type of person. I've been a black and white thinker. I'm a certified cynic, and I think it can change your perspective in terms of how you view life in general. Like, nothing should be viewed in absolutes, because there's good, there's bad, but those things can change too in certain respects. But I think this is a very philosophical book, and if you're somebody that likes to think in terms of philosophy and coming to theories and thinking about just life in general, I think this is a good book. Whether you like the old school or not, and if you can read it in French, that's even better. So let me know what y'all think. Have you read any of Albert Camus' literature, and have you read any more absurdist literature? Let me know down in the comments, and give me some book recommendations too, because I have a long little break here coming up, and I'm looking for things to do. I'm looking for recommendations. I of course have a bunch of memoirs saved in my to be read. This thing is outrageous, of course, the universe, but I have a bunch of memoirs in my to be read. So if y'all have anything outside of memoirs that y'all are like, girl, you gotta read this, put it down in my comments, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace, one love, bye y'all.